Ooh. Hey everyone, Henrietto here, welcome back. Right now we are going to watch Ace in the Hole, directed by Billy Wilder. Now for those who are new to this channel, I'm currently doing a 3 directors run, which means I'm going to watch 3 Billy Wilder movies, followed by 3 Sidney Lumet, and then 3 Fritz Lang. So I've already done 1 rotation, and now I'm back at Billy Wilder. So if you'd like to see my reaction to any of these 3 directors' movies, I would recommend you subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and also you can go and check out the playlist which I have on my channel. So you can see there's a Billy Wilder playlist, Sidney Lumet, Fritz Lang, Hitchcock, and then you can go and watch whatever reactions you see there because I've done some already. Are you ready? Let's watch Ace in the Hole.
I'd like to see the boss. What'd you say his name is?
I didn't say.
Cagey, huh? Tell Mr. Boot Mr. Tatum would like to see him. Charles Tatum from New York. How would he like to make himself a fast $200 a week?
What did you say you were selling? Insurance?
I didn't say.
Cagey.
KG.
Now, isn't that something? Who said it?
Well, Mr. Boots said it, but I did the needlework.
Oh.
Tell the truth.
Apparently you're not familiar with my name.
Can't say that I am.
Charles Tatum?
He's a
Worked in
writer.
New York, Chicago, Detroit.
What about the 200?
Mr. Boot, I'm a $250 a week newspaper man. I can be had for 50. I can handle big news and little news. And if there's no news, I'll go out and bite a dog. You'll be glad to know that I've been fired from 11 papers with a total circulation of 7 million, for reasons with which I don't want to bore you.
Go ahead, bore me.
Well, I know this guy from somewhere. Another movie.
I've lied to men who wear belts. I've lied to men who wear suspenders. But I'd never be so stupid as to lie to a man who wears both belt and suspenders.
How's that again?
I'll tell you why I was fired. In Chicago, I started something with the publisher's wife. In Detroit, I was caught drinking out of season. I've only one chance to get back where I belong. To land a job on a small-town paper like yours and wait and hope and pray for something big to break. Just one good beat, a Tatum special, and they'll roll out the red carpet. At 40 per, when do I start?
Don't push.
I hope I haven't scared you off.
Now, about that publisher's wife, Mrs. Boot is a grandmother 3 times. If you want to start something with her, she'd be very flattered. Do you drink a lot?
Not a lot, just frequently.
No difference.
I pay 60 a week in this shop.
I'll take it.
Okay. Well, at least he told the truth. He was very upfront and frank with him. Now, doesn't he also wear a belt and suspenders?
When I came here, I thought this was going to be a 30-day stretch. Maybe 60. Now it's a year.
Oh,
It looks like a life sentence.
it's been that long already.
Where's that big story to get me out of here? Get yourself involved in a trunk murder. How about it, Mr. Iverish?
Are you gonna be the murderer?
Now, there would be a story.
I told you no liquor in the office. I thought I could trust you.
Pretty, isn't it?
But why do you put it vertical? You should put it horizontal.
They're having a rattlesnake hunt, and I want you to cover it.
A rattlesnake hunt.
That's right. And take Herbie along. Let's get some art.
It's quite a sight. 1,000 rattlers in the underbrush and a lot of men smoking them out, bashing in their heads.
Give me just 50 of them loose in Albuquerque. Barricaded houses. 50 killers on the prowl. They get 10, 20, 49. Where's the last rattler? In a kindergarten? In a church?
Where?
In my desk drawer, Fan.
Huh. To keep the story alive.
The story's good for another 3 days.
Where do you get those ideas?
Bad news sells best.
That's true.
Because good news is no news.
The media people know that, negative headlines attract attention. I'm sure Tatum would love to see someone killed by a rattlesnake.
Hey!
There's just an old lady in there that's...
What's she praying for?
I don't know, but whatever she's praying for, she's sure praying hard.
Maybe it ties in. Let's see.
Maybe it's related. Maybe her son or her husband or someone she knows is, something's happening in this old Indian cliff.
He's
way in there under that mountain.
What happened?
We had a cave-in this morning.
Ah.
He always keeps going back digging for those Indian pots.
Well, who's Leo?
My husband.
I'm Mrs. Leo Minoza. We own that trading post out on the highway.
Did the Indians really live in that place 450 years ago?
I wouldn't know. I haven't been around that long.
Nobody goes no place here without I say so.
He's cold. He's hungry. Somebody's got to go.
How about those Indians?
They won't go in. They never do. Bad spirits. He says it's their holy mountain. The mountain of the 7 vultures.
The mountain of the 7 vultures. Let me have those things.
Who do you think you are butting in like
Let me
this?
have your flashlight.
Who is he?
I'm the guy who's going in that cave, and you're the guy that's been sounding off long enough. Now give me your flashlight.
Why, you...
Shut up.
Whoa, that's assault. How come Tatum is so kind-hearted to lend a hand?
The faces of those folks you see outside a coal mine, with maybe 84 men trapped inside.
You pick up the paper, you read about 84 men or 284. You read it, but it doesn't stay with you. One man's different. You want to know all about him. That's human interest. You never heard of Floyd Collins? 1925? The guy pinned way down in that cave? Front page in every paper in the country for weeks. A reporter on the Louisville paper crawled in for the story and came out with a Pulitzer Prize.
Ah, that's what he's doing. He wants to be that reporter that crawls in. I have heard of stories where, people are stuck while doing that crawling in tight spaces in caves and something. What is that called? Cave exploring? I don't know. But you will never catch me doing any activity like this.
I don't like the looks of it, Chuck.
I don't either, Fan, but I like the odds.
Hey.
I thought nobody would ever come.
Can't you get your legs out from under?
What do you think I've been trying to do?
Maybe I can help.
No.
Wrap yourself in this blanket. Get some of this hot coffee inside of you.
Hey, what's your name, mister?
Charlie Tatum.
They're not going to leave me here overnight.
They'll do it as fast as they can, but they got to do it right. Tell me, Leo, how'd it happen?
I guess I crawled in too far this time. But I found me a beauty. Worth $50 any day. I guess maybe they didn't want me to have it.
Who are they?
The Indian dead. This is a tomb, mister, with mummies 400 years old.
That's why it's a holy land.
Hold up that jar again.
Hey, what are you doing?
Taking your picture. And I'm going to write a story. They want to know all about you. They'll be pulling for you.
How do you like that? Me in the paper. And don't say anything about those Indian spirits. I don't want anybody to think I'm scared.
Don't worry, Leo. I'm your pal.
On the army, I was plenty scared, too. Your barge is going to land. You know you're going to die. And then a guy starts singing. Let's set Rawlson on a rilla and a brawler suet. Looks like it's going to be a long night.
Come on, Leo. Hut Rawlson on the rilla and a brawler suet.
Tatum is also pretty good at reassuring people, and he's got his story too.
Well, what is the story?
Big. Curse the old Indian chief. White man, half buried by angry spirits.
Can they get him out?
Certainly.
Well, how soon?
Floyd Collins lasted 18 days.
18?
I don't need 18 days.
Need 3.
If I just had 1 week of this.
You don't really wish for anything like that.
I don't make things happen. All I do is write about them. We'll get him out.
Today, tonight?
As soon as we get an engineering crew on the job. And I'm going to get them, Mr. Minoza, the best. They'll all be here. Sheriff, the doctor, the engineer. But tomorrow this place will be jumping if I have to call Santa Fe and get the governor out of bed. Mr. Boot, Tatum, how does this hit you? The curse of the mountain of the 7 vultures.
How much is it, Mr. Minosa?
No, sir. I wouldn't take your money, not after all you're doing for my boy.
Didn't they bring down any food for him? Only coffee? He needs food too. She's leaving?
I've talked to the doctor, and we're taking him in as soon as they clear the passage.
Yep.
Look, madam, when I say I deliver, I deliver.
What's that you've been playing on your typewriter all night? It sounded like that saber dance.
With all this trouble, I didn't think you could sleep anyhow.
I'm grabbing the early bus.
Where to?
As far as $11 will take me. I'm blowing this place.
And blowing your husband.
I told him I was through. I told him it was no good anymore. He told me he had 160 acres in New Mexico and a big business.
He married you, didn't he? Brought you out here, fed you, nursed you.
And I thanked him plenty. That makes us even.
So she's just looking for someone rich.
Got a little jump on him this time, huh? Can't run after you, not lying there with those rocks on his legs.
You're working for a newspaper. All you want is something you can print. Honey, you like those rocks just as much as I do.
But hey, she admits that she's a gold digger.
Is that the mountain?
Is he still in there?
That's the mountain, and he's still in there.
We thought there'd be a lot of digging going on. Where is everybody?
I guess it's all right if we drive up there, isn't it?
Go ahead, help yourself.
Just half an hour?
All right.
Well, they're gonna have a lot of business come their way. So maybe she'll decide to stay, won't she?
Want to hear what I wrote about you? The grief-stricken wife with a tear-stained face trying to fight her way into the cave to be at her husband's side. It's the way people like it, it's the way I'm going to play it. There's 3 of us buried here. Leo, me, and you. We all want to get out, and we're going to. They'll eat it up. The story and the hamburgers. There's going to be real dough in that cash register by tonight.
Even if she chooses to stay, it won't be for Leo. It'll be for the big business and the big bucks coming in. Why did Leo marry her in the first place anyway? A lot of cars. Whoa! Business is booming. Oh, now they're charging 25 cents to go in.
Everybody pays. Mrs. Mendoza says so. 2 bids.
So it was Mrs. Mendoza. She's really milking it for all that this is worth.
As soon as I can get close enough, I'll give him a shot of tetanus gas gangrene antitoxin. In fact, anytime within a week. But we'll have him out before then.
He's a pretty rugged customer, isn't he?
He walked around with a burst appendix for 3 days because he promised his wife he'd take her to a square dance.
What? He could take the pain of a burst appendix just to dance with his wife, and his wife wants to leave him.
We've been figuring on doing some bulkheading and cross bracing. Those old walls. I don't know.
A rattlesnake.
You're that Tatum guy that was popping off over the phone last night.
You play along with me and I'll have you reelected. Don't and I'll crucify you, that's all I said.
Whoa.
This is where the votes are.
What do you know about votes?
Come on, Mama, I need some help. We're swamped out here. Come on.
Mama don't get to rest.
The man who rushed here at the first cry for help to direct the rescue operation. By Tuesday, everyone in the state will know you. The guys running against you will vote for you.
This guy and his words.
The way things look, there's going to be other newspapermen trying to horn in on this story. This is my story. I want to keep it mine.
I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
How long?
I don't see how we can do it under 16 hours.
The longer the better, right? They want that.
Suppose we set up a drill on top of the mountain and go straight down.
What?
Do you know how long that would take? 6, maybe 7 days? I think.
You're thinking too much. Let Mr. Tatum do the thinking.
But he's all wrong.
A few years ago, he was a truck driver. You want to be a truck driver again?
But that fellow in there. 7 days.
The one who suffers the most is Leo, stuck under there for 7 days. And Tatum, Mrs. Mendoza, the sheriff, they all benefit from it.
I met a lot of hard-boiled eggs in my life, but you're 20 minutes.
At a boost or a knock?
I'm wondering that too.
By tonight, it ought to be 150. 7 times 150. That's over $1,000.
Your husband's stuck under a mountain. You're worried sick. That's the way the story goes. I get the smile off your face.
Make me.
Is she trying to flirt with him?
Don't wipe those tears. That's the way you're supposed to look.
Yo. She's all for the money, he's all for the story. She was making a mistake if she was thinking about flirting with Tatum.
Right in front of this 400-year-old cliff dwelling, a new community is springing up. A veritable town of tents and trucks and trailers.
It's like they're going to watch a movie. It makes sense though, because there's no like internet, TV, whatever entertainment back then, or in this area anyway.
This gentleman right here, what is your name, sir?
Fiderbert.
He's still here.
Nellie, who were the first people here? Tell them.
Why, we were. I wouldn't lie about a thing like that.
What is your reaction to this wonderful job being done here?
Well, I think it's wonderful.
They're having a rosary at that little church this evening.
I don't go to church. Kneeling bags my nylons.
I want you to be there because I'm sending Herbie down to get a couple of shots, understand?
Of course.
You wrote me up so pretty in today's paper.
Tomorrow, this will be yesterday's paper, and they'll wrap a fish in it.
Yeah, yesterday's news die out fast. Well, now it's 50 cents. Dang. It's double.
As of now, I'm not working with the Albuquerque Sun Bulletin. Neither are you. We quit.
Both of us?
Oh.
Quit in the middle of a story right when it's snowballing like this?
That's exactly the time to do it. We turn off the spigot, just like that. Watch them with their tongues out.
Nobody goes down to see Leo.
What about Tatum?
It's out of bounds.
How come it isn't out of bounds for Tatum? How come he goes in as much as he wants to?
Because he was the pioneer.
There's a lot of good stories lying around here, all yours. The weather, the crowds, the Indians, inside stuff. How they weave a rug.
We're all in the same boat.
I'm in the boat, you're in the water. Now let's see you swim.
He's here to gloat.
Tell your papers Chuck Tatum is available. Looks like there's going to be 3 or 4 more days of hot copy. Exclusive, and Tatum is sitting on it. So let's hear the bids.
Dang. He made himself premium. You want me, you're gonna have to pay for it. I've got everything covered. I mean, he set himself up really nice. He took advantage of this little opportunity and made it happen.
There's Mr. Tatum making his way toward the cliff dwelling. I'm going to try to get him on this microphone.
He's a celebrity. So even his hands are shaking.
I don't know why they have to use a drill at all. They don't have to go from the top.
Were you ever in a cave-in yourself, Mr. Kuzak?
Not personally.
Well, I was. I was stuck in an elevator once in the store I work in, between the basement and the sub-basement.
That's not a cave-in.
We just hauled in the timber and shored up the walls all the way back.
Did you get your man out, Mr. Kuzak?
I'm afraid we didn't. We were too late.
Suppose we let Mr. Smollett do it his way. From the top.
Into the underground mazes of this dread mountain. As he waves to the crowd, you can hear the tremendous cheer.
Oh man, he's making himself the hero of his own story. And look at that, Leo's the one who's suffering. Oh, poor Leo. He would have been out days ago on the first day, within 24 hours, if it wasn't for Tatum.
You better give yourself another injection.
I don't want the injection. It's that drill. I can't stand it. It never stops. It's like somebody was driving crooked nails through my head. I'm sorry. Yesterday I read there were 2,000 people outside. Who are they? What do they want?
They're your friends.
Yeah? I guess you're my best friend.
Don't say that too soon.
When I'm in New York, I'll bring you on to visit me for a couple of weeks.
Lorraine told me a lot about New York. Does she talk about me? Is she upset?
Everybody's upset about you.
Think there's a chance they can get me out by Friday? Because it's going to be 5 years that Lorraine and I were married. Maybe we can start all over again.
Assuming Lorraine doesn't run away with that $1,000.
We can't let them come in here, Lorraine. Not the carnival.
They're paying for it. Good money.
I don't want their money. All I want is Leo.
Well, who do you think the money's for? It's for him when he gets out. It'll make things easier for him. Doesn't that make sense, Papa?
Does it hurt him bad? Is he getting any sleep?
Sure, he's fine.
Oh, he's decided to drink now.
I guess you need a drink. Heard a few things in Albuquerque about how you're handling this story. I didn't like it. Now that I'm here, I like it even less. Kretzer should be kicked out, not re-elected. I think he's corrupt. Rotten, no good. I don't make deals, not in my paper. Even if it does sell 8,000 more a day.
I've quit. I'm not working for you anymore. I don't belong in your office. Not with that embroidered sign on the wall.
Phony, below-the-belt journalism, that's what it is.
Not below the belt, right in the gut, Mr. Boot.
Come on, Herbie, get your things together. We're going back. Tatum just hit a home run, and the big leagues are calling.
But you said I could stick with you.
Give him good advice, Chuck.
He's old enough to make up his own mind. What makes you think the Albuquerque Sun Bulletin is all that a kid wants out of life? You don't expect the kid to stand still. He wants to get going.
Going where?
Tell me, Mr. Nagel, did you ever repair that ceiling in your office? The one you hit the day you told me my services were no longer required.
What about that Minosa story? Yes, the weather's fine in New York.
Yeah.
No, it's not raining. So you think you got me over a barrel. All right, maybe you have. Give you 1,000 a day, as long as it lasts.
It's that desk of mine I want back when this is over.
At least he's thinking a bit long term. He isn't thinking like, I just want this 1,000 a day and then that's it. He wants a long term, he wants his job back. Did they make a song for him? Wow. It's up to $1. It keeps doubling. Next it'll be $2. It's like an entire economy of its own over here now. And it hasn't even been a week. Wow, people move fast.
When election day rolls around, I don't want what I'm doing here to influence your vote one little bit.
The only ones who are really, truly worrying about him is Leo's parents. How many days left does Leo have to suffer? But honestly, I am impressed with, Tatum being able to arrange all this by himself by taking advantage of Leo being buried. I mean, he's not doing a good thing, but you have to kind of admire his far-sighted thinking and his tenacity.
They just want me to write something for them. Tell them I'm not interested in their $750.
And you're not interested in 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000, understand?
After I get out of here, I'm figuring I'm going to New York, too. Maybe I'll run into you.
I knew it. She's going for him.
Why don't you wash that platinum out of your hair?
The big drill has been pounding and grinding its way toward Leo. The rescue workers are now only 26 feet away. At last, freedom seems in sight.
Bro, Leo's about to die. Playing with his life.
I can't anymore. Get me Father Diego's.
Tell him he's not gonna die, Doctor.
Everybody's gonna die someday, Leo. I am. Tatum is. You are.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
He told you himself. Nobody dies of pneumonia these days.
What do you mean nobody dies of pneumonia?
Unless we get him in the hospital tomorrow morning, he'll be dead.
He'll never make it. Get those ideas out of your head. You're talking crazy. You'll be out of here by tomorrow morning.
You wouldn't be lying to me now, would you, Chuck? You wouldn't. You never have.
He's the one that got you stuck here for this long.
How do you like that dumb snake? I feed him meat, won't touch a thing. What do you think he goes for? Chewing gum. But only with the silver wrapper on it.
That snake's gonna die.
We'll have Leo out by tomorrow morning. We're going the other way.
What other way?
The way we could have gone in the first place.
If we make that switch now, we got a lot of explaining to do.
First, let's get him out, and we'll think of what to tell him.
If we're too late, well, we've done the best we could.
Ooh.
Sit down.
Whoa. Well, he sat down.
You can't get him out that way anymore.
What do you mean?
We've been pounding away with that drill too long. They're all shot, those walls. I never wanted to go in on this at all. You know that.
Yeah, they knew that. Leo's going to die.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nagel. He's not back yet.
No, I don't know where he is. Leo, you have to breathe that oxygen.
Friday morning. I hope she hasn't found the present in the cupboard of my room. In my old barracks bag. I wanted to wear it. She'll look like $1 million.
Don't be so dumb using up all your strength. Breathe that oxygen. Breathe!
The stairs to our room. So I can give her the present. Up the stairs.
Herbie's been looking for you all night. Where have you been? What's that?
It's your anniversary, Mrs. Minosa.
Oh.
Go on, open it. I want you to have it.
You must have skinned a couple of hungry rats. You wouldn't want me to wear a thing like this.
He wants you to wear it.
I don't care what...
I do. He said you look like $1 million. All he thinks about.
Chuck.
You buy yourself a dozen silver foxes, but you're gonna wear this.
I can't breathe.
He can't breathe either.
Ooh. Wait, where did she stab him?
I That's,
Leo.
Father Diego's. See that she gets the present, Jack.
She's wearing it.
She is. How does she like it?
$1 million.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm sorry.
Uncionum. Et tuam piissimam misericordiam.
Stop the drill. Stop everything. Listen to me. Listen! Listen! Leo Minosa is dead. He died a quarter of an hour ago with a drill just 10 feet away.
10 feet.
He's dead, do you hear me? Now go on home, all of you. The circus is over.
Yep, everybody's gone. Nobody cares about Charles Tatum anymore, too. The fame is short-lived. Sure, Lorraine is gonna take all the money and run.
Chuck, where were you? What's the idea of not protecting your own paper? You had it all for yourself. You had it first.
Had everything sewed up, didn't you, Tatum? Everything but the payoff. What slipped up?
The great Tatum. Better wipe his mouth.
Beat it, beat it.
Get out. See you in New York and you pick up that Pulis. Get out!
Hello, Nagel. Tatum.
Don't yell at me. Sure. Everybody else got the story, only it's the wrong story.
Leo Minosa didn't die. He was murdered.
You got drunk yesterday, you were drunk all night, and you're still drunk. Reporter keeps man buried for 6 days. Nagel!
Look at that, completely emptied out. All that's left is trash on the ground. Only after Leo dies does he feel like he has to go and redeem himself. But when Leo was suffering, he wanted to milk it for 6-7 days.
Sit down. That's your desk.
Mr. Booth.
Yes, Chuck.
How'd you like to make yourself $1,000 a day, Mr. Boot? I'm a $1,000 a day newspaper man. You can have me for nothing.
He died? Tatum died because of the wound. Ace in the hole, huh? Well, the ace died. Charles Tatum is actually what you would consider quite a smart guy, and if everything had gone according to his plan, then it would have been flawless. But what he shouldn't have done is playing with Leo's life. Charles Tatum is a selfish man. I mean, that much we know. And all he does is think about himself, his story, how to make the story look better, get the big headlines and sell the paper. So I feel quite sorry for Leo for having to suffer for so long. But I do wonder if Leo would have been saved if his situation, wasn't known to so many people. Like, would people really come and help him and save him on time? If Tatum hadn't gotten wind of this story, it's hard to say. Maybe it's true that Leo was destined to die from the start. Maybe the bad spirits, wouldn't have let him go. Who knows? But one thing I know for sure is that if Tatum had just prioritized getting Leo out, and not dragged the whole thing on for 7 whole days, Leo would have been saved. He could have milked it for just 3 days, maybe just 4 days, maybe just 5 days, maybe just 6 days, and Leo would have gotten out safe and sound. Although he would have had pneumonia, he would have suffered, but he would have been alive, at least. But Tatum just had to go and milk it for all that it's worth. And in the end, he killed Leo. So it wouldn't be wrong to say that Tatum murdered him. There are no good hero characters in this story. Everyone's in it for something. Tatum is in it for the story. The sheriff is in it for the votes in the election. Lorraine Minosa, Mrs. Minosa, she stayed because she wanted to make the big bucks from the business that was coming in. Otherwise, she would have run away because she never cared about Leo. The people who truly cared about Leo were his parents. I will give Tatum credit for knowing how to milk it, knowing how to arrange all this thing and make his story sell really well and make it into big news. Fine. I mean, he's good at that, but it was too much. It cost Leo his life. And so, driven by his guilt, Tatum decided not to go to the hospital for his stab wound and ended up dying. He joined Leo on his trip to the underworld because he just couldn't bear with the guilt. I suppose this teaches us a lesson to not overdo things, especially when someone's life is at stake. A little something I just realized is that Leo is kind of like the rattlesnake which the sheriff caught. The rattlesnake is trapped inside that little box and it's dying. It's not eating anything, it's being fed chewing gum with the wrapper still on the gum. So the rattlesnake is also trapped and dying, just like Leo. The sheriff toys with the snake's life and Tatum toys with Leo's life. I agree with what Charles Tatum said in one particular scene where he said, this newspaper is yesterday's news and it'll be used to wrap fish. So basically, old news or yesterday's news just gets stale really fast. As you can see, the moment he announced that Leo is dead, then everybody leaves. No one even, when Tatum was walking away and no one even goes to surround him because nobody cares anymore. The whole thing is over. It's old news now. That was 15 minutes ago. Even if Leo had successfully made it out, shook the sheriff's hand, yada yada yada, all of that, people would just forget it in a week or so. The newspaper industry always has to, keep up with the latest trends, latest news, the latest happenings, because yesterday's news is it's already nothing. It's not worth it anymore. Especially nowadays when we have access through the internet, news come and go so fast. Like 5 minutes ago, that's old news. And it's crazy how we consume all these headlines. Newspapers will always put big negative headlines to attract people's attention. This is a separate thing that I'm just mentioning, which doesn't have anything to do with the movie. But I think that we should not overconsume media because sometimes headlines and articles can be quite misleading. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So it's better to, read these articles in newspapers and media, read it with a grain of salt and also don't overconsume. Overall, this is a very interesting movie and Charles Tatum is a very interesting character. Kirk Douglas played the character very well. How do you feel about Charles Tatum, this character, this newspaperman, and this entire movie overall? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.